everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Sightless Voices, Unleashing Potential. I am your hostie with the mostie, Jennifer Parrish, and today we have another really awesome episode for you guys lined up. Man, I'm excited about this one. Our guest is Ruby Cabral. She is an orientation or O&M specialist, also activities of daily living or ADL specialist here at the Lighthouse of Houston. And Ruby has dedicated her career to helping individuals who are blind and low vision achieve greater independence and improve their quality of life. Today, she will be sharing her journey, passion, and impact of her work with us. So before we get started, as usual, we will be describing our set to our blind and low vision viewers. We are seated in blue chairs. We have wooden tables next to us, and the backdrop is a white brick wall, blue lights, and a neon lighthouse sign. Hi, Ruby.
Hey.
I'm so glad you're here. This is so cool, and I'm so glad that we finally got our orientation and mobility programs back in the Lighthouse, man, because this is something that everybody needs. As a blind person, I need it every day. There's always new things to learn. So, again, thank you so much for joining us today, and could you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and what led you to this field?
Yeah. So again, everyone, my name is Ruby. Hi.
Whoop, whoop.
And so what kind of led me onto this journey, I actually stumbled upon my field, as most of us do. We usually start off as teachers, and then once we're retirement age, we were like, oh, we still want to teach to some extent. And so for me, as soon as I graduated high school, I started working at the public high school that I graduated from. I applied as a teacher's aide. For CASE, which is basically special education. They don't call it special education anymore. They call it CASE. And so I was a teacher's aide for CASE, and my student that was assigned to me was visually impaired. And I didn't know that until I started. So literally on the first day, I was like, oh my God, this person is visually impaired. What do I do? I'm 19. Right. I'm a kid at this point. I was like, I have no idea what to do, where to start. And so her teachers, because I was her in-class support, so basically as an in-class support, my job was to help her take notes, help her take tests, things like that, because she was in general education. So she was with all the normal people, all the sighted people. So she was working really hard to maintain her grades within the sighted community. And so one of her standards was she was allowed to do at least 50% of her work. And then if she didn't do anything more than that, that was okay. But anyway, so yeah.
Okay, I wish that was my standard of work.
Yeah,
Damn.
I know. That was definitely so interesting for me to read over because they gave me her IEP first, and then they talked about ARDS and all that good stuff. And so as I was her in-class support, her teachers kept coming to me, and they were like, hey, how do we teach her? And me being a 19-year-old child, I was like, that's a good question. I have no idea. So thankfully, her orientation and mobility specialist, or COMS, was there, and then also her TVI, which stands for Teachers of Students with Visual Impairments.
Thank you. I wanted to spell out some of these abbreviations. And to go back, IEP is Individualized Education Program? Is that it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And so,
it's like the military with the abbreviations.
Yeah.
But yes, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, and so I worked really closely with them to try and figure out how to bring all of these materials to the teachers. So I would be like, hey, in math class, she's really struggling because she was in geometry. She was in 10th grade. So I was like, hey, she's really struggling with line segments, or hey, she's really struggling with angles. How do we get that in a more tactile way? Because all these tests are visual, right?
Absolutely.
They're like, hey, what is 45-degree angle? What type of angle is that? Or they were like, what is this parabola? And what does that look like? And I was like, she can't see that. How is she going to be able to tell you what that looks like? Mm-hmm. So I actually talked to her TVI, and her TVI gave me this spongy paper that you write on with Crayola markers, and it puffs up. And so she gave me some of that, and I passed it on to her geometry teacher, and I was like, hey, this is what the TVI showed me, and I think you could totally use it. And so I helped the teachers create a curriculum that was more to her. I also learned Braille to help her.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I did.
Just straight out of nowhere, learn Braille.
Yeah, straight out of nowhere.
No prior experience.
Nope, none.
That's
and
so cool.
I did it all visually, obviously, because I couldn't do it tactily. And so because she was another part of her IEP was that she could Braille all of her work because she was an avid Brailler.
Yeah.
She just couldn't translate it for us because, the turnaround time to get it sent to a Brailleist and then translated back to us was like a month-long process.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, okay, I can try to learn Braille and try to get it figured out.
Wow.
So I learned the very basics. The grade 1, I didn't learn anything past that because I just couldn't. So sometimes I would have to be like, hey, what is this word? Like, I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Because,
to her.
Yeah. She'd be like, oh, that's day, or oh, that's time, or
dot
whatever.
5D, dot 5T. Exactly.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. So I would translate for her English teachers and then help her out with geometry. And so that was my goal. And then like when I started talking to the comms, because I actually went with her on a couple of her lessons. So right across the street from the school is a Target Supercenter. So for one of her lessons, she went to Target.
Sweet.
And she had a grocery list. And so she was supposed to find what was on her grocery list. And then afterward, we went to Starbucks. And I was like, oh, my God, this is what you do for a job? Yeah. Like,
right?
And the comms was like, yeah, I do that as work. And I was like, I want to do what you do. So I did some research. And I was getting my associates at the time that I was the teacher's aide. So once I finished with my associates, I got an associate's in teaching. And then from there, I did research on schools that offered a comms program. And there are only 3 in Texas. And one of them is undergrad.
Yep.
And that's at Stephen F. Austin State University.
Is that where you went? Axum Jacks. Yes, ma'am. I went there too.
And so then I was like, okay, cool. Because the other 2 are graduate programs only. So that's Texas Tech and UNT. Yep. University of North Texas.
Yep.
And so I was like, nope, I'm not doing graduate. I got to do undergrad because I really want to start ASAP. And the program's really short. It's about 1.5 years. So, which isn't super long. What took us the longest was like the electives. That's what took me the longest because I got a Spanish minor. Because you get paid more when you are
bilingual.
Registered bilingual.
Absolutely. Makes a lot of sense there.
Yeah, and so I got the paper. I did finish out my bachelor's. I got my bachelor's in rehab services. And so during my comms part, my orientation mobility part, in order to become a comms, you have to go under blindfold. So I was blindfolded for 72 hours, approximately. I guess that number, it was like 2 to 3 hours every 2 days or something like that.
Yeah.
And so we used a white cane. We cut it ourselves. We measured it to ourselves. We put the pencil tip on. I hate pencil tips.
I hate them too.
Yeah.
Yes.
They get caught and everything.
Yeah, and they come off.
Yes, and they come off. And then by the time I finished my blindfold, my pencil tip was sharp enough to stab people with.
I bet it was.
Because I was a constant contact girly. My cane never left that ground because I have an anxious attachment style. So I was like, I can't see. Something always needs to be touching the ground because I can't, no.
Yeah, I get it. I'm like that too.
Yeah. So we did the blindfold. And then once I did my blindfold, that was at the beginning of our journey of the bachelor's part. And then we have 3 practicums. So the beginning practicum is blindfold. Then you have your intermediate practicum where you are learning body-to-body concepts and body-to-object concepts. And you're learning developmental milestones and things like that and how they differ from sighted to non-sighted. And then for our advanced practicum, we are then flipped to now teaching people under blindfold. So I taught people under blindfold in Lufkin and Nacogdoches.
Oh yeah,
that was a time. Ooh.
I bet it was.
And it was
go to the hot biscuit.
Yeah, yeah, and it was very humid. Thankfully, I did pretty well. But I did struggle a little bit because I'm very much a mother hen.
Yeah,
I'm very cautious, and my students were not. They kept jumping off the curb, and I was like, whoa, what are you doing? Because these are grown people, right? They're grown adults, and they're sighted, and they're just temporarily not sighted. So that was definitely a learning curve. I was like, ooh. So anyway, after we finished our practicum and I graduated, before I graduated, we have to do an internship. So it's a 350-hour internship.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to do my internship in Tulsa.
Yeah, Newview, right?
Yeah, I went to Newview, Oklahoma, and Tulsa. And so I did my internship there. I worked primarily with adults, 55 plus, give or take. It's kind of like our organization.
The OIB.
Yeah, the older people. And over there, their TWC is called DARS.
Right. It used to be called that here.
Yeah. Or DRS, Department of Rehab Services.
Yeah.
And so my person there was also another comms there. Her name was Mindy.
Hold on. I'm going to stop you for a second. What does COM stand for?
Certified Orientation and Mobility Specialist.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Continue. Thank you.
So the other comms that was there, she really loved littles. She really loved little kids.
Yeah.
So she was contracted with the nearby school district of Tulsa to do 0 to 3. So I also got to work with the littles.
I bet that's so cute.
Oh, it was.
The
oh
tiny
my God.
little canes.
Yes. Tiny little canes. And then AMDs, that's accessible mobility devices. AMDs. So we worked a couple of times with the AMDs, and that was super cool. I got to play with the little canes, the modified canes, the little rollies at the end. They're super cute.
I was going to say, what are some of the other ones besides little canes? Like AMDs?
Yeah, so the AMDs, they have one that looks like a square or a rectangle, and at the bottom it has little rollers, so it makes that sound and that tactile vibration inside. So we would use something like that for someone who's like in a wheelchair but still wants to use a cane, and maybe they can't hold on to it very well. You can also add like a different handle to like a cane. So like maybe you need a little bit more curve so you can actually like grip it really hard, or maybe you need to put a strap on your cane or something.
Yeah. Something to modify.
Yeah. And so it's basically you're modifying a white cane in a way that's more accessible for other people.
That's so cool.
And so I got to play with a couple of those. But I knew right away, I was like, I'm not a kid person. That's not that's not for me. I have a lot of patience, but for me, it's the sticky fingers.
Yes. I'm with you. I don't have kids for that reason.
Yeah, for me, it's the sticky fingers, and for
Cheeto dust and sticky fingers, baby.
Yes,
and crying.
And visually impaired kids, they tend to put their hands like deep in their mouth because they still don't understand like body concepts and like spatial concepts of their body, and so. When I was a teacher's aide, my student, that was her thing. She loved to put her fingers in her mouth.
That's like a simulation situation, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not, like just, it's a blind, how do we explain that?
Yeah, it's like a STEM. So
STEM, which is short for stimulation.
Yeah, so they really they're sensory seeking because they don't have that vision.
Yeah.
So like another thing, like my student, she would pick her nose a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd have to get onto her. I was like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you can see me, Miss Ruby? It was so cute. I was like, yes, I can see you. I got hand sanitizer for you. Here you go.
Right, exactly.
So I always carry hand sanitizer with me too because I just picked up that habit from her. I was like, all right, I'll just carry hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
And so I gave her 2 options. I was like, do you want the regular hand sanitizer or you want the smell good hand sanitizer? And she's like, I want the smell good. And I was like, okay.
Right, to make it pretty and all.
Yeah, and then
good.
Once I finished my internship, we then have to take a test, and that test is 150 questions, but it's pulled out of a pool of 500 questions.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah. And they recently just updated the test in 2024. So it's a very new test. And so, a lot of people are struggling with the newer test because the old test was like history based and it was skill based, and this new one isn't like that. It's a which best fits. So there's multiple right answers, but best fits is the hardest part. And it's a bunch of multiple choice. And the old one there was written in, and so it took a long time for them to grade it. And so, I'm glad that they updated it, but also now the newer one is a little harder. For people like me, I'm very much I think a lot about it. I'm like, okay, but because the test is like in a perfect world, like this is what this looks like.
Right.
And
that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we don't live in a perfect world.
No, not at all.
My brain doesn't work like that. I'm like, okay, well, there's this factor, this factor, this factor.
Yeah.
So I need to turn that part of my brain off.
Right. And then, can you just study it and just be like, okay, A, B, C, D, and just totally right brain it?
Yeah. I probably could. I just got to really sit down and really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But so once we're certified, we're good as golden. I mean, it's an amazing experience. Honestly, I really love what I do. And most people will tell you that when they see me out and about. I'm smiling, I'm laughing, I'm having a good time.
Y'all just went for ice cream. I was like, oh man, I missed it again.
It never ever feels like work to me. Yes. I always feel like I'm showing someone something new. It's almost like a love language that I have, right? To me, that's considered acts of service. Like I'm showing these people how to do new things and how to achieve new things that they thought that they couldn't, but now that they could. And so that's always something that I really love about this job.
I'll tell you what, man, I was so excited that we were getting an O&M person because, I mean, they've, like I told you when you first got here, they built up this area and it looks so different now. And I've been so kind of afraid to go around and whatever, and then COVID, I was just totally out of the area for a little bit. So, her first couple weeks, I was like, Ruby, I want you to take this walk with me that I take and make sure that I'm not going to die when I take this walk.
Yeah.
Because there's construction and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and different things like that. We all want to learn how to get to places around here because there's so much, around. And I mean, this isn't even just for people who've just recently lost their sight. It's just learning a route to somewhere and being safe about it. So that brings me to my segue to my next question. How did you end up in your current role here at the Lighthouse of Houston? How did your journey bring you here?
Ooh, okay. So I have always known about the Lighthouse of Houston. I just never really had the opportunity because I'm a Northside girly.
Northside? Yeah, me too.
I'm a Northside
Klein
girly.
Forest.
Yeah, I live in Klein myself. So yeah. So I'm a Northside girly, and I always knew that there was a Lighthouse of Houston. I just never had been to it. I had always heard good things about it. And so while I was job hunting, I stumbled upon the advertisement for the job. And I was like, oh my God. And it was literally meant to be. I literally graduated college in August, and this listing was posted 3 weeks after.
Oh my God.
So it literally fell in my lap. It was
That's
so cool.
so awesome.
And so then Shelly, she called me. I applied, and literally the next day I got a call from Shelly.
Yeah, Shelly's our VP.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, I was like, is this real? I literally asked my fiance, I was like, can you pinch me really quick? Because this is happening so fast. I don't know what to do with myself. And so Alex, my fiance, was super, super supportive. He was like, you should interview, do it. Because I had applied for school districts, and like I said earlier, I don't like kids. So I was like, I'm going to be miserable for the next 3 years. Just doing what I do.
Yeah.
With kiddos.
Love the kiddos.
Yeah, love the kiddos.
But not.
Yeah, not for me.
Not in this house.
Yeah. And so I was always the oddball because there was 12 people in my cohort, and I was the only one that wanted to work with adults.
Yeah.
The
that's
only
cool.
one.
Right.
Everyone else was like, oh my God, the little baby. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And even my professor was like, yeah, you're definitely an adult person. You're not a kid person. And I was like, thanks. Yeah, I know.
Exactly. Okay. So what sort of challenges or rewards do you have working in this specialized field?
Ooh, the rewards always outweigh the cons here.
Let's hear the challenge. No, it's not cons, it's challenges.
Yeah, the challenges.
Because there's got to be some.
Yeah. So the challenges, I think, is that there's always new technology coming out, and it's sometimes pretty hard to catch up with them all.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And test all of them
Yep.
Simultaneously, because, I'm only one person, and I'm seeing 1,000,000,001 people in a month, right? And I'm meeting new people all the time. And then another challenge I would say is sometimes I do have to tell a client, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Which is really hard for me because my job is to tell people, no, you can. It'll just be different.
Yeah.
So when I do have to tell a person, you can't do that anymore, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's hard.
Heartbreaking.
That's hard. But you're keeping them safe. So, that's what you got to keep thinking.
Yeah.
And
so I think another challenge is not trying to bring some of those experiences home with me.
Yeah.
Because some of these people that are coming to me, their stories, they're so hard. And so I have a big heart. I'm a very big-hearted person. I love what I do, and sometimes it does make me a little emotional, but I have to be like, no, don't cry. Don't cry in front of them.
Don't cry me in baseball.
You can't cry in front of them.
Right. Can you give an example? You don't have to use names, obviously.
Yeah, so one of my people that I did an evaluation on, she was a hairdresser for over 15 years, and she was a colorist. She did the color corrections and stuff.
Highlights and all that.
Yeah, and so her vision had gotten so bad she could no longer identify color.
Oh.
So I had to tell her, and I was like, I'm sorry, unfortunately, you just can't do color anymore. I mean, you could totally still be a stylist because that's all tactile.
Yep.
But you can't be a colorist anymore. And she was like, oh my God, this is my second career change. What am I going to do? Because she was initially a dance teacher, but because her inferior vision, that's the bottom part of your vision, so under your nose.
Under your nose, yeah.
Her inferior vision vision, she didn't have it anymore.
So you can't see the ground.
Yeah.
Or your
so
feet or
she
anything.
couldn't see her students. So she was accidentally stepping or kicking on her students. And so she stopped being a dance teacher. She went to cosmetology school. She became a colorist because you can still use that superior vision. You can use that upper vision to do color and things like that. But then that was starting to go. And so I had to tell her, and I was like, I'm sorry, you can't be a colorist anymore. And she sobbed. I think it was because her specialist before she came to the Lighthouse and did the low vision evaluation, I think he was trying to give her hope, but he was doing it not
like
in the best way.
Right.
Because he was like, well, we can do surgery and hopefully maybe you'll get some of your vision back.
Yeah, and it's always hopefully, maybe, hopefully, sort of. Hopefully.
Yeah, and like that's never guaranteed, but she took it as, oh, that's guaranteed that I'm going to get that vision back. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
Got to tread lightly with things like that.
Yeah. And so that was heartbreaking to really have to tell her that because I hate telling people, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So I tried to give her alternatives. I was like, you can be a stylist. You could also be a receptionist and still be like in the facility.
The public, right.
Yeah.
Speak to the public and get all the gossip and do all that fun hairstylist stuff.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, maybe you could push the hair products and stuff. Maybe you could still be in a salon, just not doing what you were normally doing before.
Right.
Because I'm trying to give alternatives, but she was sobbing. I mean, there was like snot coming out. It was terrible. Oh, it broke my heart.
Yeah, that's sad. That is sad.
And her mama was with her because she was young. She was like 52, 53.
Yeah.
So she was pretty young. And I just, my heart broke for her.
Absolutely. But, I mean, it's better somebody like you give it to her tactfully than offering false hope. And then, I mean, it ends up way worse later. So, ultimately, that's a good thing that you were able to do that. It is sad though. Yes, totally. Absolutely. I mean, I'll tell you what, I have had my visual impairment all my life. And I'm like, I can't imagine what folks are going through when they have it and lose it.
Yeah.
I'm just glad to be the same all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, and then we kind of touched on this a little bit. But can you explain the rarity of O&M and ADL specialists, and then these programs and how they impact the blind and low vision community?
Yeah. So a lot of people don't even know my field exists.
Right.
And so for example, I had a phone call on Friday of a mom who wanted O&M and TVI services for her child who was 4. And she had tried to get it at a nearby school district. They weren't reaching out to her. They weren't giving her the services, but it's because it's a smaller district. For the most part, those smaller districts hardly ever get services like this. Especially if you're a charter school, you're not getting any services for O&M and TVI. And like I said, in Spring ISD, where I was working at, they only had 2 O&Ms for the entire school district. So they're very few and far in between.
Right.
And then my cohort being 12, but it's broken up into different practicums. So my specific practicum was only 3 people.
Wow.
My specific cohort was just 3 people, but the entire program there was 12, and then just my little group was just 3. So they're pushing out fewer and fewer because we're kind of getting a little bit like, I don't know, lost is probably the best word for it, because now the program that I went through at SFA, they dismembered it. It no longer exists.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I think you said something. I thought you told me something like that before. Really?
Yeah. So we got bought out by University of Texas, and so they disbanded the rehab services.
So none of it is there?
No. So I think they're trying to restructure it.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully, ? But yeah, my professor had given us the news on our last trip together.
Yeah.
And that made me cry. I cried all the way to Tyler because we were going to the East Texas Lighthouse.
Yeah.
So I cried all the way to East Texas, and I was like, there's going to be no more. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. I mean, luckily you had completed it, but still, man. That's
so all the
awful.
people that are currently still in the program, they're graduating either this semester or next semester, and they're being pushed through because there will be no more after that.
Wow.
Until they decide what they're going to do with the rehab services. Because the rehab services doesn't just impact O&M. It also impacted the VR counselors, the vocational rehab counselors. It also affected the PT and the OT and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So that's occupational therapy and physical therapy and all of that. Kinesiology too. And so it affected all of those people too, not just O&M.
Yeah.
So
wow.
it's hard.
Yeah, that's rough, man. hopefully they get that restructured because, good Lord, that's nuts. I mean, that's what I knew SFA as. I mean, even though I had my little psychology major, but all my friends, because half of them were visually impaired, were, in that program. So crazy. Yeah. Okay, so for those listening who have never heard of O&M and now especially ADL programs, because we haven't really discussed it, can you explain their key components, how they work, and then some techniques that are used?
Yes. So let's start with O&M because that's what we've been talking about thus
far. Right, for sure.
So O&M, orientational mobility, is figuring out where you are, where you want to go, how you're going to get there. And so that involves cane training, but not always. And that's what a misconception is. It doesn't always involve a cane. For some people, they just need to be able to orientate themselves to an environment, whether it's their room or their house, or they want to go to work and they know how to figure out the route to that place. So that is something that we'll work on, but we'll also work on cane training for most of them, not all of them, but most of them. And so then when we're working on cane training, I'll go over the different cane tips, the different cane types. I'll show them how to change the cane tips. I'll show them and describe what their different uses are. Because there's like 1,000,001 different cane tips. They come out with more almost every year.
Every year, right. I mean, I see ones with like wheels and some craziness on them.
Yeah, because they recently came out with a new cane in like 2023. It was called a See Me cane. And it looks like a giant lightsaber. It completely lights up like a lightsaber. And then a new cane tip that they recently came out with is called a Pathfinder cane tip. And it's a 360 ball. It moves 360 degrees. Yeah. And it has little indents on the sides of the ball. But it looks like a ball roller, but it has the indents.
What's that for?
Hiking.
Got it.
Hiking is a big one for that.
Is See Me for like being in the dark, obviously?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially, right?
That'd be kind of cool.
Especially for our friends with retinitis pigmentosa. That would be great for them.
100%, yes.
Because they suffer with night blindness.
Correct. Exactly.
And so, I've heard that that's really cool, but it's super expensive. It was like $1,000 or something. Yeah. And I was like, ooh, I don't know if I would pay that much for a cane.
Yeah. Same with that one that's got the AI on it now. Yeah. I forgot what it's called. I saw it the other day, but I was like, I don't know if I need all that, man.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't remember what the name of that is either, but yeah.
It was like 800 beans.
Yeah. They come out with new stuff all the time. Yeah. And like Shelly, our vice president, she just showed me a new app that she just saw at a new VR conference that she went to this past week. And
Intrigued me.
It apparently is like seeing AI, but it's costly, ? But it serves the same functions as seeing AI, but it's a little bit more advanced because you can talk to it.
Okay, so is it like Chat GPT plus seeing AI plus something, Be My Eyes-ish? Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm cool with the free.
Cool
me
with
too.
The free ones, me too. But he said that because I'm an orientation mobility specialist, that he can give it to us for free. Oh, and just to test it out and maybe talk about it because it's like $5 a year or something like that for the app. I took a picture of it. I can talk to you about it after.
Yeah, sweet.
But then onto ADL. That's activities of daily living.
Yes.
The Texas Workforce Commission does not call it ADL. They call it ILS, Independent Living Skills.
Okay.
We have our contract through the Texas Workforce Commission for the OIB program. That's the older individuals who are blind and visually impaired. That's 55 plus. Yeah. And so we have our program with them. So basically my job as an ADL specialist is to go to their homes and figure out a way to make it more accessible. So that's whether they need more spotlighting or if they need contrast on, maybe they have steps in their house. I can figure out how to do contrast tape on their things. Nice. Or if they need magnifiers, because maybe they like to read the newspaper, or maybe their magnification's not enough. So then I'll recommend CCTVs. Or if they are cooking, I love cooking. So so
Ruby has a cooking class, guys.
Yes, I do. My next one is May 17th. Woo!
Now this is going to air after that. So
May 17th.
Right. But she has them through. So Ruby has cooking classes throughout the year.
Yes.
And we don't give specific dates because it'll probably air after.
Yeah.
But there, you can go to our website, www.houstonlighthouse.org. And what is it under?
It is the baking cooking class.
Baking cooking class, right.
Yeah. And it's held a Saturday. I tried to work with the schedule of the accessible art class so that people can make a whole day out of it. Because we have people coming from like Cypress and Tomball and Sugarland and Pearland. So I want to make sure that they can make a whole day out of it. So I host my cooking class, baking class in the morning. So it's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then they have an hour to eat their goodies before the art class. So
Nice.
the art class is from 1 to 3. So we planned it out so that we can help each other and vice versa, and so that people can make a whole day out of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to ADL.
Yeah.
When I am doing ADL, I will also show them different things that they can take to their kitchen to make it more accessible. So that's like a liquid level indicator. A liquid level indicator is something that you put on the rim of your cup, and it vibrates at different levels in your cup. So I have the demo one that I usually take with me. It has 2 different vibrations. So the first one is like the middle of the cup, and then the second one is you're about to spill out, slow down.
Right. Emergency, like
slow down. And so that one, it's $15 and it's very inexpensive, but it does help people not burn their hands on like coffee or tea or whatever.
Right. Or if you're pouring drinks for somebody else, you don't want your big fat finger in there.
Yes,
in
exactly.
There.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'll bring my liquid level indicator. I'll also bring like a high contrast cutting board. So on the cutting board, it'll have one side that's black and the other side's white.
That's cool.
So that if you have like a really dark counter, you can flip it to the white side so that you have your designated space to chop veggies on or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll also show them something called a no-cut knife. A no-cut knife is something that you can buy on Amazon. It comes in a set. It comes with 4 knives, a slicer, a potato peeler, and like cookie cutters in there. And yeah.
Why is it called a no cut?
Because it's sharp enough that it'll cut your veggies, but dull enough that it won't cut you.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool because ultimately, I mean, you do kind of have to have a precise knife to cut like veggies / like if you're doing, whatever meat you're doing.
Yeah.
But you obviously don't want to cut off your hand.
Yeah, for sure.
I have a story about my better half cutting his hand accidentally on that, but we won't go into that one on this here. But it's funny for later. Poor guy. Yeah. So he squirted the ceiling. Like he busted an artery, and it looked like a murder scene. It was crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was. So we'll go ahead and tell the story. I don't give names. He was trying to separate frozen like hamburger patties. He was like using this knife, and it was like a Cutco, So it's one of those like pimp like cool knives.
Yeah.
And so he was like just slicing in and missed and so he still doesn't have feeling in that finger.
Yeah, and in an instance like that, I would also give people Teflon gloves. They're no-cut gloves that you can't slice through even if you want to.
That's awesome. Okay, are they disposable or are these reusable?
These are reusable.
Teflon. You said Teflon. That's true. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so they're reusable. You can throw them in the wash.
You know what, Ruby? I could talk to you all day about this stuff, man, because this is cool. It's very interesting to me and my cohort blind low vision folks. But unfortunately, we are running out of time. So I want to say thank you so much for sharing your experiences and your insights with us today. Really, really enjoyed it. So maybe we'll have you come back and we can go another hour.
Oh, always. I love talking about my job.
I love hearing about it because I always learn something new from you anyways. All right, so to wrap up our conversation, do you have any final tips or advice for people who are blind or low vision when it comes to, learning the important skills and how to go about finding resources to support themselves?
Ooh, okay. Real quick, how to find resources, Facebook, word of mouth, get out into your community as much as you can. There's like 4 different groups in Houston that meet regularly, so you can talk with other people who are also visually impaired. The Lighthouse is also great resources. We have our amazing group here. We have an amazing team. I love my team.
Yeah.
And there's always something happening. There is always something happening on a Saturday or even during a weekday. We have gardening classes. We have
choir.
Yeah, we have choir. we have a bunch of
Art stuff, yes.
Yeah, and so always check out our website and our Facebook because our marketing team is very good about putting out things out there months before they're actually happening.
Yes.
So I love that about our marketing team.
Yes, go team.
Yeah. And then little tips and tricks. There is a YouTube channel on top of our YouTube channel. There is a YouTube channel called Blind on the Move, and he is a O&M and a CVRT. That's a certified vision rehab therapist.
Yes.
And he's also visually impaired himself.
Oh, is he? Okay, because
Yes.
I started following this dude on the social medias.
Yeah, I'm sure you saw me post about him
yes,
on my
I
Facebook.
Did. I did. I love him. I love him. He's a good dude.
So his name is Mike Mulligan. Mike Mulligan does a little bit of everything. He does product reviews. He shows people how to do white cane skills. He'll show people how to change tips. He'll talk about the different types of tips and what they sound like, look like, and feel like on certain terrains. So he's always a great resource. And then for our new O&Ms and TBIs coming into the field, my biggest advice to you is use your live binder. They'll know what I'm talking about. Use your live binder. The live binder is going to be your best friend. Chris Tabb, love that man. He did all the live binders. And so, yeah, use your live binders. That's a big resource.
Ruby, it is truly inspiring to hear about how passionate you are about the work that you do and impacting this community. And we are so happy that you are here. So thank you. And we hope your tenure with us is a long one because you're awesome. So
yeah, me too. Happy to be here.
Yes, ma'am. All right, to our listeners, we hope you found this episode both educational and interesting and motivating. Remember, you can find more episodes of Sightless Voices Unleashing Potential on our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. Your feedback and ideas for future episodes are always welcome, so bring those ideas. We love them all. Be sure to follow the Lighthouse of Houston on social media for updates and visit our website at www.houstonlighthouse.org to hear more about all the exciting, cool stuff we have planned and all our programs and all that good stuff. So y'all, please visit the website because it's always being updated. Until next time, stay strong and stay empowered.